right, it's Tuesday. That means it's Pearl Jam. Raise your hand if you even notice that I do Pearl Jam on Tuesdays or Wednesdays if we miss Monday, right? I always stress about the schedule, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, Push Me, Pull Me for Mr. Matt Ferrucci, back-to-back Tuesdays. Jelger Woodstra and Eddie 3DM4N. Okay, this one's a good time. So obviously, the bass, and I listen to the album version and watch the live ones on YouTube, and they all have mostly all of it in common, except that the guitars join in more in the verse part, and there's that cool riff that Jelger, I believe, mentioned. It's not Mike, it's Stone doing the cool riff, I believe, in the third verse in the 2010 version on YouTube. Anyways, you're counting in 3/4 for 3 measures, and then 4/4 for 1 measure. If you're gonna do the guitar part, that's the bass part, but the guitars do it too. Anyways, open 5/7, open 5/7. That is 3 beats: 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. You can hammer, you can pluck, doesn't matter. But the 4th measure has 1 extra note, and that's the 5th fret, a D note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. I just replaced the 1 with 2, 3, or 4, to keep track of which one I'm on. F sharp major, curiously, followed by a D, followed by an A. Of course, you can play your D and A as an open chorus, that'd be fine. Except for the time it's different, and then it's B. I'm going to keep it major, might just be a power chord. I don't think it's minor. It's minor. Just listen to it more closely. It's B minor. Ignore the B majors going forward. Anyways, B, G, F sharp. Different is after 3 of these, right? I think it's 3. Use your earballs. Could you be there as well? Now when Jeff gets funkier and fresher in the 3rd verse, he's up here, which is fun to do on the guitar. I'm going to show you a way to do it down here, which might work better on the guitar given you're in sort of a more consistent register if you're playing Jeff Ament on the electric guitar here. But anyways, he goes 12 on E, 14 on D, that's an octave, 2 E notes, so, and then A12, hammer on to 14, 2 D12s, back to A14, E12, and then D14. But there's a more equally fun way to do it down here. Go open E, A7, and then you can do this really cool move, which isn't the exact same notes, but gets the same feeling across. Open 5/7, hammer on the E string, and then 2 A5s. That's our same D note. That happened twice there, right? Back to E7, open E, A7. Open E, A7, open 5/7, hammer on, A5 twice, E7, open, A7. what Stone's doing in the Germany 2010 version is he's just playing an E7 chord. I'd do it this way. I think this is the way he's doing it. A7, D6, G7. That's a 7-chord shape straight out of your C7 chord, which features the A string 3rd fret, D string 2nd fret, and G string 3rd fret. So a little backwards triangle there, and you can do that same backwards triangle 4 frets higher, put it on the 7th fret, and you have an E7. Anywhere you put this, it's a 7 shape, depending on what note this is. And we, of course, know Grandma always brings crappy deviled eggs, the first 3 dots on the E and the A string. E, there it is. And the reason why that E7 works is because the whole riff is an E major scale. E, A, B, and E again, right? Except for that pesky D, which is not in the E major scale. That's the note that makes E7, E7. Here we have an E, a G sharp, that's the 3rd, and this is a D. So E, G sharp, and D. E7 chord works because Jeff set the whole thing up with the thing featuring that D note. Actually, if you wanted to be super fancy, you could do that E7 chord as just a root and a 7, so A and G string 7th fret. That's a fun option too, not much difference. With the 3rd, without the 3rd, with the 3rd, without the 3rd. Anyways, the only thing that's different is after we do the last chorus with the little middle A chuggy thing. So the... And then the different one, the B, G, F sharp, and this time it goes D, A, chuggy thing, and ends on the chorus. Chorus. Fade out. And I just realized the best way to tell what key a song is in is whatever chord you play when it sounds like it's done, and it sure sounds like A is the chord when it sounds like it's done. The implications of this are just that. This riff, E, A, B, A, D, E, is the E major scale with the addition of a D, but it's also the A major scale with just regular, starting on E. And then the reason why that E7 works real good is because E7 is the 5th chord of the key of A. Key of A, B minor, C sharp minor, D, E, there it is, F sharp minor, it's major in this song, that's allowed, you can change stuff, G sharp diminished, A again. But the 5th chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, always wants to be a 7 chord, because an E7, for whatever reason, it's the notes that change when you go back to home. It's the most satisfying thing in music, to go from the 5th chord as a 7 chord back to the root chord. But certainly the verse is E-centric, as not like an oval. It's revolves around the E note because it starts on the E note. Anyways, rant over. Thanks for the great request, gentlemen, and thank you all for being here. I will see you next time with more stuff. Goodbye. Madam Secretary, where are we on yield?